Here's some of the turnips that I pulled up today, and as you see, I still have a big patch over there. I was mulching. Okay, we gotta wash the turnips. Okay, all washed up. I don't know if you can see this, but it looks like it just peels. See that? Just take it and peel it. Oh, this is much easier than I thought it was going to be. I know Ironhead says you don't even got to do that. That you can use the purple. Probably be a good idea. Why would you grow purple unless you want to see it? But see, it just peeled. Pretty good. Dice them up. Still chopping. Chop those turnips. Now that I've chopped up all my turnips, what I want to do is estimate how many jars I'm going to need. So I fill up jars and I pour it. I'll take it from here, I pour it into here, then I pour the chopped up turnips in there. I'm estimating. I already have 6 jars in here. So how many am I actually going to wind up with? I've washed and sterilized my jars in here. I know that's lazy, but I did it. And then in the oven, I'm going to keep them warm. So when I pull out my jars to put the turnips in, I can put them right in to my canner. Put water in my pressure canner. Throw in some vinegar. I put my 15 lids in there, and I have another pan that I put 15 of these rings in there. I'm going to show you some of the supplies you're going to need once you start heating up your turnips. You're going to let this boil for 5 minutes. The reason being is that they will not get mushy. Then you're going to simmer your lids. Don't boil them. Just get them hot, because that little rubber in there has to adhere to the jar. Now I've already washed and sterilized my lids. Alright, some people like them to be absolutely hot when they put them on. These are warm, but I'm not going to worry about it. I use a towel on my countertop. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to take the hot jars out of my oven on the tray, and I'm going to put them here, because I'm going to work with all the turnips at one time. We're going to use this spatula. The reason being, we're going to go in and we're going to get the air bubbles out. We're going to need a jar lifter, because we're working with hot jars, and that hurts when glass hits you and it's hot. So we're going to take those hot jars and we're going to put it in the canner. Okay. Now another thing is, we're going to use, because these are pints, we are going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt in each jar. I know earlier I had said maybe chicken bouillon, but I didn't know I was going to have 15 jars. Okay, our turnips have been boiling for a few minutes, and I wanted you to see this. This is sort of some kind of foam. And I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to just throw it out. Okay, Ted is recording for me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fill up all the jars. The idea is that we want to hot pack this. So we're going to take our hot turnips that have boiled for 5 minutes. I know I keep saying that. And we're going to put that in the jar. We're just going to fill it about that deep. Okay? And we're going to fill all of our jars at one time. Alright, what we're going to do is use 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt in each one. And I'm not going to keep boring you by showing you 1/4 of a teaspoon in each one. Why 1/4? Because I'm doing pints. I'm not doing quarts. Put the salt in every one. I'm going to put the fluid. And I just used the liquid that I boiled the turnips in. Do I have an exact measure? No, I don't. I try to get to the lower rim And then we're going to take the air out in a minute, which will make it go lower, and you'll have to add more fluid. But for right now, and I'm not going to sit here with every one of these and show you, just that's what you do with every one. You fill it to the lowest rim. Alright, as you see, all the jars are filled. Now what we're going to do is take a warm, wet rag, and we're going to wipe off all our lids. All the tops of the jars. Okay. Take a lid, put it on your jar, take your warm, now these are hot. I sure hope I don't drop one on my toe. I've never done this for video before. I never canned turnips either, but I have canned in the past. Just finger tight. It might look like I cranked it, but I didn't. Take it, put it in the canner. Okay, as you can see, I have 8 jars in the bottom, and I'm going to need to put another 7 in. So I have another tray, because I actually have 2 canners. So I just take the tray from the other canner. I'm not really gone out and bought another one. And then I could put my other 7 jars on there. I love this canner. Now look at that. I got 15 pints in there. Now you gotta make sure you can see through this. And right now, I'm not seeing through it. As strange as it is, I just cleaned it out. There's a little hole, and if you can see through the hole to the light, you're doing good. I've already checked my rim here. Everything's fine. You have to attach it. It seals. There's no way that's going to blow. Don't worry about it. It has a protective bubble here. It comes up if it starts getting too hot. This will pop off. It's not going to blow if you're attentive to it. Okay, this is a weight. This came with my press stout. It's the only weight I'll use because it came with the machine. You see all this? This is just built on because I have very, very hard water. If you have city water, probably won't bother it at all. I just have hard water, therefore it's like calcium buildup. But I scrub it off. It's just discolored. That's all. I really use my canner a lot. You'll notice up here too, this is just all calcium. Just happens. I try to scrub it off. Sometimes I do, but I can at least 3 times a week, if not more, but at least 3 times a week. And I just have a lot of calcium buildup. So now you know why I had to put vinegar in there. So, as you see, it is steaming. Our pressure canner has vented for 10 minutes. So what we're going to do now is take the weight and just put it on top. And then we're going to watch the gauge. And in my case, I'm going to take it to 11 pounds of pressure. That's what these numbers are, is pounds. And since my book says to do pints for 55 minutes, just for the heck of it, I'm adding a minute. So it will be 56 minutes. But I don't start counting that time until the pressure gets built up there. Well, as you can see, YouTube, I'm at about 10.5 pounds of pressure. Everything's going good, nothing's blowing out, everything's fine. So I'm going to come over to the microwave. I'm going to set my timer for 56 minutes. Alright, I'm going to get me a nice book. It's called 1 Second After. Southern Belle Prepper brought this to me, or sent it to me. I love this book. This would be about the 5th time I've read it, and that's just fine. Now, some people walk away from their pressure canner. I don't. I will sit here and I will read a book. I will read some type of prepping manual, because everything I do these days is about prepping. Now I'm going to adjust my heat because that's a little too hot. I'm going to bring it down in increments. But at no time can this go less than 10 pounds of pressure. If it happens to go to 9.5, I have to start the time all over again once the gauge goes back to 10 pounds of pressure. That's why I just like it as a safety valve to always have it 1 pound over. So it's still a little high. I'm going to turn my fire down until, and it will, you'll find the exact place to put your fire, and it'll come down, for me, to about 10.5, 11 pounds of pressure. As you see, my gauge is just holding steady. It's been about 20 minutes so far. But I wanted you to hear the sounds of a pressure cooker. You'll hear the hissing, the bubbling, and it's truly almost hypnotic. It's the only time I sit down. I'm always doing something. Southern Prepper said once, and I pay attention to experienced preppers, he said always have something to do with prepping every day. So in this case, this is how I relax. Some people go to the bar. Some people drink a fifth of Jack Daniels. I'll sit down, I'll read a prepping book, and I just relax. So for about an hour a day, when I can, I get to relax. Okay, the canning is done. It's been 56 minutes. So we come over, and look, as you see, it's 11 pounds of pressure for me. That's what I like. And I turn off the heat. Now what do? I leave it alone. We're going to wait until this comes all the way down to 0 before we remove that. Which tells me I have about an hour and a half, anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. I can go outside and mulch now. So you see, it's nice to rest and watch your canner. Okay, so it's been about an hour, maybe a little bit more, and I wiggle this little thing and I don't hear any hissing. Take it off. I don't hear any hissing. This is safe. Put the gauge back here, that little bubble thing went down. Nothing's popping up. I can even hold my hand over here. I feel a little heat, but nothing's coming out. So if I open it, it's not going to blow. I take off the lid away from my face. See all that smoke? You don't want that going on your face. I might improve mine, but hey, I don't want to get burnt. Now we're going to look. Oh, it has a nice smell. Look at that. A pretty gold color. Isn't that pretty? Notice it's bubbling. It's supposed to be. You put it down on your towel. And I'm going to take out every one of these. All of them. Very pretty. Ted is going to experiment and try to taste the turnips today after they stop bubbling. Okay. Now it's all done. And they've been pinging. Bing, bing, bing. So they're sealing up. These look beautiful. Oh, boy, them are just gorgeous. So anyway, give it a try. If you're growing turnips, give it a try. And have a good day, and see you again.